Good morning, everyone. Terrence. It's an honor to be here. I hope you've enjoyed the section so far. I joined Anker in 2015 as the head of global marketing. Then in 2020, I took the role of general manager of China. I was fortunate enough to practice building several consumer brands from scratch globally and locally over the last 6 years. Before Anker, I worked at P&G Greater China. P&G is definitely one of the best places to learn brand building. Although Anker is a relatively young company with just 10 years of history, what surprised me after being a part of Anker for a while is how the company built several new consumer brands successfully in such a short period of time. When I think about the differences between how P&G and Anker approach building brands, I can see clear commonalities in terms of fundamentals, but also see differences. So today, I'd like to share a little bit about Anker's model. But before I go into the model, let me give you some background about Anker Innovations brands. Anker is a charging accessory brand best known for its power banks, phone chargers, USB data hubs and dongles, charging cables, etc. Anker was born in 2011 and grew from 0 to $800 million revenue in 2020. Today, Anker is the #1 charging brand in terms of category value share globally, according to research agency. Eufy is a smart home brand better known for its robotic vacuum cleaners, home security camera, and baby monitors. We launched Eufy in September of 2016, and only in 4 years, it grew to #2 robotic vacuum cleaner brand in the United States last year, just after iRobot. Nebula now represents a new and exciting class of smart portable and home projectors. It's now one of the category's top-selling brands on Amazon platform globally. Soundcore is Anker's audio brand born in late 2017. In just 3 years, Soundcore grew to the top 10 audio brands globally and the only brand that comes from China that got into the list. It was amazing to see these brands grow rapidly, simultaneously, at global level. And the secret behind it is what I called VOC, Voice of Customers-Based Innovation at China Speed, which is innovation inspired by our customers' voice and developed at higher speed, or some people call it at China speed. Let me walk you through the steps of the model. Step 1, listen to voice of our customers. VOC is a very powerful tool that allows us to learn what works, what doesn't work about every product. Customer reviews on Amazon are a very powerful source of VOC, especially because Amazon's presence from the United States, Europe, Japan, India, to the Middle East, and more. We can get access to VOC on a massive and international scale. It's a fantastic tool to collect data of how customers from different countries and regions like and dislike a particular product. We also get valuable customer feedbacks directly through our customer service team, our company's websites, apps, etc. And then we move to step 2, analyze and innovate. By analyzing the data we collect, we can identify which unmet needs exist in a specific category and what are the PODs in terms of functional benefits. Identifying all those unmet needs leads to a clear innovation opportunities which guide our engineers to new product development. We then leverage China's strong supply chain to get new products ready for launch at high speed. In step 3, promote digitally and in direct-to-consumer model. 90% of Anker's marketing spending is on digital, not just because of efficiency, but more importantly because of the data and almost instant response from consumers, which give you an evidence or at least initial evidence whether the campaign works. And then the final step, get back to verified by VOC. Analyze customer feedbacks and verify if the unmet needs are well being met. Once it's proved, we will increase the budget of marketing, scale up the production, and make all things running robust. Let's use Anker's power line cable as an example of the model. In 2015, two product managers analyzed thousands of customer reviews to understand the pain points customers were experiencing with their charging cables. And not surprisingly, many customers complained about one thing: the cables break easily. This is a common problem for many cables out there, and I'm sure probably one of you experienced yourself before. What happened in most cases is after a charging cable breaks, people would just buy a new one and move on with their lives. But what we saw was a clear opportunity for product innovation. There's a huge need for more durable, longer lasting cables. With this clear direction, a group of engineers began developing a new product to better serve the customers. In less than just 3 months, the Anker power line launched. It featured a new protective material that allows the cable to be 6 times more durable than others, a special material that was applying for the first time ever to this category. After hearing the details about this new cable, my communication team came to me with a crazy and fun idea about this new product. They say, let's use a cable to tow a truck to prove it's the strongest cable ever. Everyone immediately fell in love with the idea, and we proceeded to execute it. The team reached out to a YouTuber called This, and after a few days, the video was done. It still makes me smile when just thinking about how crazy the idea was. So today I'd like to show you a part of the video. Please play the video.
Hey, Terrence, just move on.
Okay. I guess there's some tech problem, but you guys, if you are interested in the video, you can just search Anker Power 9 on YouTube channel. That you probably can see it. You probably can see many more other organic UGC content of the theme as well. We just spent like $5,000 on the campaign's first phase, and the response to the campaign and product was extremely positive. Customer reviews were great, mostly 5 stars at the beginning. Conversation carried on to social media, where our customers proactively send us messages telling us they're sick of their broken cables and want a Power 9 too. All of those signs have thus confirmed that the product was right. So we proceeded to scale up our budget and resources to continue promoting it and scaling up the commercial plan. I hope the power line case helped you understand how the model works. We also apply the VOC-based innovation model to all products under Eufy and Sanko brand, which are actually in different categories and at much higher pricing point from $100 to $600. The model ensure the products from Eufy and Sanko resolve some problems consumers are having. Not only good customer reviews, the model ensure our products can earn good review ratings from professional media. On the screen are just some of the credentialing that we've got from different media. You know, among everything about running the model, what surprised me the most was really the innovation speed. In the case of Anker Power 9, it took us less than just 3 months from product concept to launch. And that's much faster than competition, which could spend 6 to 12 months. Not just Anker, but other new brands from China, like DJI, which is the leading brand in drone, Shein, a rising e-commerce platform of fast fashion. Innovation at China's speed becomes an advantage. I started to think about what are the forces behind the speed, and I found out 3 factors. Firstly, supply chain advantage. From consumer electronic, apparels, toys, to many more other industries, China's supply chain is definitely an advantage a new brand could leverage. Secondly, great engineers. Number of engineers in China has been growing larger and larger over the last decade, and they work extremely hard on innovations to better serve consumers around the world. Thirdly, more and more global talents are willing to get on board startups to build new brands. In Anker's case, we have 10 offices outside China: Seattle, Tokyo of Japan, Munich of Germany, Dubai, etc. Hundreds of local talents work on commercializing the product and brands in their own ways on a daily basis. That's pretty much all of my sharing today, but before I end it, I want to thank P&G Alumni Network for the reason that a couple years back when I got started at Anker, and I didn't have much resources locally in US and in Europe. I reached out to some alumni and all of them responded quickly, helped me solve the problems. I really felt the power of the global P&G Alumni Network. So again, I really appreciate everything the network has done to the community of P&G. I'm gonna pass the mic to the next speaker, Jacqueline, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the conference. See you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just taking over the control of the slides. So good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Like moving to next slide. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, and then brief slides to introduce who I am. I started my career in year of 2002 with P&G. All my 5 years with P&G were working in LA, from personal cleansing to skincare to cosmetics. Then PepsiCo. So my first 10 years, our career are all with multinational companies. That part I call it brand management, because most time we have a global guideline and we are doing a more excellent local adaptations in China. Then I took MBA in US and then came back to join the early stage of Little Red Book. You may have heard this lifestyle social network in China rising like Instagram. And it became an incubator platform for many emerging consumer brands in China. And later on, we're going to talk about a lot of consumer brands in China. And their starting point are all telling good stories using KOLs on Little Red Book. So that part is mainly user acquisitions from 7 million to 70 million in 8 months. Then after that, I joined Hill House, the largest private equity firm in Asia, doing portfolio management for their consumer brands, mainly on digital content and new consumer brands evolvement. And recently, starting from 3 years ago, I started my own consulting practice, focused on enabling those fast emerging China consumer brands to establish, polish, and solidify their brand building frameworks and help them to grow faster. So those are basically a mixed background of me. The combination is bringing me lots of new insights. That's why in today's sharing, I'm going to share lots of interesting insights into the fast-growing new consumerism brands in China and see what's truly happening behind them. Next slide. It's not playing on my side to the next one. Okay, all right. I'm seeing the slide is playing on the big screen, but not on my side. So I'll keep talking. If any questions, team, you let me know. So there are these brands. We call them rising Chinese new consumerism brands. This term actually came from the year before the last. And then people are saying like every established category can be redone by the new Chinese brands, challenging the leadership from international brands, no matter how established they are and how much consumers they have. So what's truly happening? Let's take one example. It's Ramen Talk. This brand was launched 4 years ago with 3 post-90s young girls. So they launched this new form of fast noodle, 5 minutes to cook ramen, like restaurants, truly like restaurants made. They're challenging the fast noodle leaders from the 2 leaders, Master Kong and Tong Yi from Taiwan, which is playing in a $60 billion market size category. But now, only with 4 years, Ramen Talk is halving their valuation over US dollar $2 billion. And next one is Super Monkey. Again, it's a new form of offline gym, challenging the traditional one with annual membership card. And this one is only offering group training classes, pay-per-use. So 7 years, their valuation is now a unicorn, US dollar $1 billion. Also, this next one, playing, please. This Banana Inn. So no more Calvin Klein dominating the men's underwear categories in China, but this Banana Inn launched a few years ago, now is valuated at US dollar $2 billion again. They started from underwear, mainly for men, and then evolved into lifestyle. So now they're claiming they redesign all the essentials with a strong beauty sense and strong, very unique design offering. And also an example of Haiti. Now this brand, after 9 years, has been valuated at US dollar $10 billion. On the right side, you can see they have created multiple milk tea products, much more evolved from the traditional boba we can see in the market. So I'm going to share more of what they have done in the past years. Indeed, no magic. They are all going through brand journey with an evolved and reinvented brand building framework. That is a term we are very familiar from our P&G marketing framework. So it's basically from why, who, what, how, but on each of the stage, they are creating a very, very robust and solid stories to connect their customers. So let's take a fast view into why part. We all know the golden circle theory, that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And that's basically why so many people are after Apple, because of thinking different. They think each of them are like this type of person too. And that's exactly the same when the China new consumerism brands are launching their own product proposition into the market. Rather than going directly into what I'm selling about, they started with telling their manifesto stories, not just who is my competitor, where I'm grabbing share from, but what am I fighting against? What am I going to offer as a voice of the generation to resonate what you're truly feeling and what you truly want to change in this world? So let's give a few examples. This is the Banana Inn, the underwear. I'm going to show you, I don't know whether we can play it or not. I prepare a 2-minute video with English subtitles to let you guess what is the Banana Inn is fighting against. So team, can this be played?
你穿的内衣上有一叠标签，这似乎没什么大不了。有一天，
我们撕掉了标签，把它印在衣服上。
大家说，
舒服多了。
那一天，我们突然意识到，
这些生活中常用的必须的基本款是一条线，这条线决定了我们站在原地还是去往更高处。
这条线叫底线。
我们能不能把这条底线画得高一些？能不能把这条底线画得再高一些？
要画一条更高的底线，因为生活在这条线上，无数的人都值得过上更体面的生活。
我们相信，基本款是一条底线。中国制造从新的底线开始，中国品牌从新的底线开始。
我们的孩子，孩子的孩子，他们未来更高质量的生活，应该从新的底线开始。我们正在成为那个划线的人，大家叫我们新消费品，
但我们更希望被称为新的底线。今天，我们想邀请更多青年设计师加入我们，只有一个要求：你的梦想不是为了追求设计的极限，
而是和我们一起，为和我们一样的普通人画一条新的底线。蕉内重新设计基本款。
Cool. So next slide. Then we can answer a question whose Banana Inn is fighting against. Apparently, it's not fighting against Calvin Klein or Uniqlo. It's no longer just playing in a apparel category. It's fighting against the taste and boring design sense. That's why, based on this why, their value proposition goes to redesigning all the essentials. So on the right side, you can see their apparel, their underwear designs and the packaging designs are quite innovative and creative. And next page is who is Super Monkey fighting against. As I mentioned, this is a very unique form of group training online classes. So they're fighting against the sales-driven instructor style, and the customer goes to the gym not motivated by the true fitness spirit, but because they pay the membership. So Super Monkey wants to change all this. They want to mobilize people and motivate them to go to the gym because they want to go after a better, much healthier lifestyle. That's why with this in mind, why I do it, their value proposition is ignite passion for life through threat. So next one is Ramen Talk is fighting against very easily. It's from their true life experience from the founders. It's because when China is growing so fast, then people usually compromise their lifestyle due to their family and work responsibilities and commitment. So they eat fast noodles, they eat very unhealthy food. So Ramen Talk offers these people 5 minutes. You can cook a very delicious and fresh ramen talk. Then at home, it's truly like restaurants made. So they say we have each hardworking ones well treated by our noodles, and next one maybe dim sum quickly cooked at home. And then Haiti. Haiti, if you remember, its valuation reaches 10 billion US dollars and even grabbing lots of shares and people and their the wallet from Starbucks. They're challenging the very boring taste and design experiences. They say they're inspiration for life, for tea and for life. So you can see on the right side, their in-store design and their packagings and their teas are very freshly made and upgrading all the old-fashioned and the last generation of milk tea. So these are the brand purpose that each local brand is truly resonating with the current voice of generations, and this challenging the global brand, whether you're still talking and understanding our customers. Then I'm going to combine who and what to see how the Chinese brands are truly hearing the unmet customer needs and truly addressing their demand. So firstly, I want to show this. You may very familiarize with this growth model, AARR. And for China brand, because it's a lot of growth tools, so we can use this market, they're already moving this retention into the first box. So firstly, they run an MVP that is having very steady retention of their customers and goes into the customer acquisitions. And how they're doing all this, like Terrence shared their cable. And I'm going to share a lot more other CPG brands, what they're doing to create this retention, to create the retention of the products. Say for Ramen Talk, once they understand their customer has this initial unmet needs of too busy to take good care of their self meals, then they create this 5 minutes to cook delicious ramen, like a restaurant truly made, this high quality with lots of the side dishes to create a very nice look and nice taste. So that they create this, like we can say they are inventing these products that never happened in China. And in COVID-19, when people are staying at home, they had a very fast growth in last year because people are cooking at home and taking photos of the noodle and show on social network. Then Maya Active is a Lululemon in China. And they say they're customized for Asian growth, passionate for fitness and yoga. And now on the right side, they're truly grabbing shares. Now I'm going to gym, like 30% of people, girls are wearing Maya Active rather than Lululemon. It's because their designs are, you see, the Asian girls has lower waist. So their designs is lifting the waist. So make you look in better shape when you're moving in gym, truly, and resolving a real problem of Asian growth. And Super Monkey is, again, if you feel too bored at home, to be self-disciplined and work out, and then come to join a group training setting gym with only pay per use. No pressure on the annual membership, so you have to go, but truly come here to join your friends in dance. And Haiti, the same. Everyone longing for a fresh and tasty tea experience and innovative and creative. Then Haiti offer this their poster look and this is store look. So they are after, I heard, they're after Apple and they're after Hermes to create a very memorable and disruptive experience for their customers. So very quickly going into the last part is how. One thing I want to share is now we call the CEO of startup companies is Chief Experience Officer, because like P&G said, brand equals to everything customer experience counts. So they have to pay to lots of details of experiences. Very quickly, this is Banana Inn. So on their e-commerce, we say the first moment truth is no longer on the shelf, but on e-commerce website. So look at their website design, very strong design sense and very cut through on Tmall and Taobao, as you know, the largest e-commerce website. So people see them and believe that they are creating a stronger lifestyle sense for them. And then also the second moment truth is no longer the products, but also the unpacking experience from the e-commerce delivery. And this brand is called 73 Hours. They create this round-shaped shoebox costing like normally 5 times of the average shoebox cost. But then this cost is turning into our term, BSA, a marketing investment, and creating lots of voluntary posts on social network. Then last but not least is on Initial. This is an apparel brand. They call their brand proposition the unusual experiences. So they not only offer a very special design by look and by the material by touch, but also they launch their ice cream each year. You know, it's very uniquely designed, blue color, tie in with their indigo theme in that year's fashion apparel design. And also for all of the offline events and exhibitions, they are giving this very unique lighting experience rather than doing a apparel fashion show. It's because they believe this is an even more exceptional and unique experience for their customers. So that's why I'll quickly show of all the unique experience and an unusual experience of this brand. So quickly summarize of the fast-growing consumer products categories in China. What's behind is truly number one, to start with resonating fast manifestos from your heart and relating into the voice of the generation. And number two is uncover the demands and truly create the trend, not just cut into the trend. You can create the trend, let the consumer follow you. The last but not the least is having this chief experience officer mindset and care about each touch point at each moment of truth you can relate to them. So that's basically my sharing of today. And thank you for the time. I'm handing over to Perry.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Jacqueline. So I'm taking over. All right. So hello, P&G alumni. Very proud and happy to join the event. I hope I can be seen by a lot of old friends because actually I have spent 20 years in P&G since 1998, always in CMK. My last job in P&G was the Pampers Asia CMK leaders. So I'm very happy to be here. I also actually I joined my current company, QuickDecision, 3 years ago. So it's a startup company focused on consumer research. So the next I would like to talk about how we do insight research innovation, because what Jacqueline and Terrence mentioned is very important for them, for the new brand in China success, is getting the right consumer insight and hear their voice well. However, you were wondering, this is such a challenging market, how we do that in a more effective way and efficient way, and any new innovation so we can embrace to help them to get the insight right. And this is actually what I'm talking about today. So actually, QuickDecision is a startup company focusing on how we're using the technology and the internet, the mobile, to get those insights much more efficiently. So actually, we are a very young company. We only established for 4 years, and so far we already grabbed more than 200 global and local leading brands. And interestingly, we are only a Chinese Guangzhou-based company, but we have already done research over 80 different countries. Actually, without any help from the partner there, is all by ourselves. Is really contribute by the technology we have. Also very proudly, we work with a lot of the new, we call new consumerism brand, like what Jacqueline said. One is Anker, so we've done a lot of work with them. For example, Wonder Lab, Simple Care, the Ramen Story, all of this. Actually, a lot funded by P&G alumni. So actually, what we try to help is to get the right insight and help them to make the right decision, because we believe making decision in this competitive age is very, very difficult for a lot of the manufacturer. So it's eventually, it's rooted from the changing of the environment, right? The market and consumer. So the consumer now is much more fragmented. So we cannot segment consumer for 4 to 5 groups like we usually did. It had to be like 40 of them, right? So how we understand them well is pretty critical. And also the pace of the innovation also become much faster than before. I still remember we have like 24 months or 36 months innovation plan in the old age, but now the norm is 6 months. You have to put an idea to the market in 6 months, or even 3 months, or even 1 month for a lot of the Chinese located China-based new brand. So, but you still have to do all the tests to make sure you make the right choices and also to eliminate the risk. How to do that. Another one is definitely, now the marketing environment is changing a lot. You have a lot of the new channels, new medias. So you cannot have one voice, right? One copy, one concept for everybody. You need to understand different different contact, different media. So it's all very, very difficult to make a decision, right? So eventually we help brand to do 3 key things, right? One is in this changing world, how we get the right business opportunity, how we know what happened next, so I can win in the future. And in this, it gives the challenge of consumer research to getting insight is how we get the right target, right? To how we find the broad and deep, but still precise target so we can talk to them and understand them and get the insight back, right? So this is the first. And second one is, after you get the idea, the most important thing is to put this new industry into the market. So you have to do all the qualification, all the research, and here you need a fast and real iteration. So you need to get this thing right in terms of optimization, qualification in 3 to 6 months. We need help on that too. Okay, the last but not least is after you put them into the market, you need to make sure the experience is right. The experience, including the brand experience, the product experience, even the in-store experience. So a lot of argument about the new brand is how they sustain this growth. The most important is to get the experience. So like what Terrence said, you need to get the voice, right? You need to get the true voice in the fast and the real way, okay? So in these 3 areas, we do have a lot of capability and a lot of cases. I want to share some of the story towards those. Okay, first to get the right consumer, right, to talk to and get their insight is instead of the old way, right, when we recruit consumer and try to interview them, we use the offline recruitment or use the panel for a lot of the cases. We think have a lot of challenge in the nowadays. We actually use a brand new way to get into the consumer is to do the advertisement in the digital media toward the consumer we want to interview. Okay, so not like the other brand selling a shampoo or the mobile phone. We're selling an opportunity of talking to consumer. So we place the advertisement about invite consumer to join us, to talk to us, to discuss with us by place of advertisement. So when consumer get interested, they will click and they will answer questionnaire or to join our discussion online. Okay, so this actually is pretty straightforward way, but it's not easy to realize because you need the right cost, you need the right speed. The good news is that actually we figured out in the last couple of years, and now every year we make millions of interview all through this approach. Okay, and it's give us very good benefit to reach consumer, because you can literally reach the consumer you want via those media platform or apps, right? For example, if you want to talk a rural consumer, young consumer, we use TikTok, right? We use Douyin, equivalent TikTok in China to place advertisement and recruit them and attract them to talk to us. So those people like TikTok, right? They want to spend time and they will see us and they want to talk to us. The little red book that Jacqueline talked about, if we want to find some fashion lover, some news lifestyle lover, those places are the best place to find them, right? If you want to do some e-com interview, we'll go to JD.com to recruit consumer and we can discuss with them. And that's why we can do the global research because we're using Facebook, okay? So this gives us the max capability to reach the consumer broad, deep, but precise, right? So one example is we done for a local China electronic appliance company, which is they want to understand, what's the needs of the lower level city of China about the small electronic appliance. Okay, so in their mind, they think those rural consumers, they want something like a noodle maker, the soy sauce maker, something like that. So we help them using our methodology to reach, almost 4,000 consumers over 80 cities and towns and talk to them, right? The interesting thing, the fact we found is these are not something they want. The noodle maker, the soy sauce maker. What they want is the sweeping robot, right? It's as the same as what the big cities consumer want. They desire the same. So it's a totally change. What the manufacturer's idea and their strategy, and they try to do more of those selling into the lower level city. Okay, and actually nowadays a lot of the company in China they ask us to help them to be in touch with those rural consumers to make sure they understand what they need, what they want, and what they love. Okay, so this is something really help us to identify the business opportunity in this fragmented, changing world, right? So this is the first one. Second, as I said, after you got an idea, you want to put them into the market. But this gives a lot of challenge if you do that in 6 months, right? Because you want to do this really fast. Normally you do like a focus group, you talk to like 15 people in 3-4 days, maybe in 2 cities. However, you worry a lot because, is that representative enough? Is that good enough? Because there's only like 10, 15 people. So, and another thing is you also want your whole team to join those research easily, because you don't want CMK to do that research and give you a big PowerPoint presentation. You want everybody to be participating in this event, and we can make decision very fast. So what we did is we invent a brand new tools we call Easy Talk, which is online discussion tools, right? So we can enable our client stay in their office in the meeting room, talk to 100, 200, even 500 consumers at the same time. So consumers, they come from all over China, so you can represent everybody everywhere in China. They don't have to go to a meeting room. They stay home in their sofa, right, on their bed maybe. So using mobile phone, like a WeChat, the most comfortable way to discuss with us. So for them, it's like a one-on-one discussion with the moderators. They feel very safe, very, very comfortable for 1 hour. So it's a deep discussion. They talk a lot of things, over the 1 hour. But actually, our client, our moderator, are talking to those 100 consumers at the same time, right? So we ask questions at the same time and get their answer at the same time. So you can imagine a huge amount of information will flow back to you while those consumers are answering. And with all our more than 80 engineer help, we've developed a platform that actually can summarize what they said and the answers in the real time. So you can see the answers very fast, and with NLP, you can analyze what they talk in the open-ended question, and you can get the answer. So with this way, we can make those kind of iteration optimization in a really, really fast pace, and you can make decision right away. The whole process lasts probably like 1 week. You can get from the project establishment to get what you have. So example, we actually helping international fast food, which is they want to chasing the new consumerism pace, right? So they come to us, they want to test some chicken snacks, and we help them to talk to 300 consumers all over China across different tiers, and we do qualitative and quantitative combined. We do a lot of the topic like concept test, claim test, KV test, package test in this 1 hour, right? So within 1 hour, with a 1 week preparation, we get result done, okay? They said is the fast ever turnaround in their entire history of research. So they're very, very happy. So we do that so many different applications now in China with different, client. So, okay, so after you, get the new item, right, new brand qualified, the thing is you want to get experience, right? Like what I said, you want to get the first-hand experience really fast. So this we leverage a lot. So we will call it in China is private domain, means from consumer side is your CRM, right? The consumer who can interact with you, but also including the employee and salespersons in your organization. So this is also your valuable respondent to get your insight, right? So one thing we try to help the Philips, right, a couple of years ago, is to using Easy Talk to talk to their frontline salesperson in 1 hour, right? So actually at that time we have their CEO, global CEO come to China with the whole LT, right? They stay in the meeting room. They said, we want to talk to our salesperson. But imagine the CEO talked to the salesperson, they got very frightened, right? They said they don't want to, they role play beforehand probably. So they don't want to do that. So we use this Easy Talk. So we talked to 300 salesperson in the real time all over China. So we talked to them, very real voice, about who their consumers, what they need, how about their product, do they like it, anything is good, anything is bad, what help needed, what support is needed, how about competitors, what competitors doing, in their the same store. So we collect this information in 1 hour with very efficient way. So the whole team, the whole leadership team got so excited, and they asked the question like, what did you sell the most in the last week? Everybody, answering, of course, the top answer will be shavers, electronic shavers. And they ask again, they say, hey, what did you demo the most to consumer in the last week? But the answer come back, 300 answers coming back, and we use NLP to analyze them. Suddenly the bigger one pop up is the vacuum cleaner, okay? So here's the question, why they demo so many times vacuum cleaner and they didn't sell it? So because we have a digital connected for all of these peoples, we immediately can select 30 people who demo the vacuum cleaner and also sell them. Okay, we ask them how you did that. Right? So immediately we get the best practice summary, with all of the actions, and we resend them to everybody and to tell them you can do that tomorrow. Okay, so this is a very successful, and we use those a lot. Even P&G use that every 2 months to talk to the ISA. Is a big help for all of them. So the last slide I have is basically beyond the in-store experience, you also want to get the product experience, right? So we also use the CRM, the private domain CRM, to talk to consumer. We have a P&G Alumni to create a brand called Simple Care. Only 1 month after first launch, they invite 400 users from their private domain and use our tools to talk to them about their using experience, what they like, they didn't like, what they want, what they want the next. And it helped them a lot and helped them to grow probably the #1 fast growth skincare brand in China. So this is also a huge help to get the experience right. And when you have the experience right, you make the brand last, okay? So yeah, so that's basically what some of the story and the cases we have from QuickDecision. So we hope, with our tool and technology, we help you to make the good decision from the QuickDecision. So that's my sharing. So thank you so much, and hand over back to the MC and see any other questions. So thank you very much.
Okay, you ready? God, well, that was terrific, guys. This is a global network. And one of the things we always had a concern about is wherever you're going to do this, some time zone's going to be left out, and we didn't want to miss Asia. So we want to thank you for sticking around and helping us. I have a couple of questions, if that's okay. Terrence, why don't I start with you? You mentioned global talent as a part of your success criteria. How does your company deal with that?
Well, that's a great question. As a startup, like 10 years ago, right? It was difficult to recruit global talent, but as you, the actual case was like we have overseas students came to China from the UK, US, and then after their postgraduate study, some of them we were lucky enough to recruit some students to join Anker. Firstly, on the marketing team and also the international sales team, and that was kind of so-called the early batch of the global talents for Anker. But as we grow, as the business and brand grows, we more our presence, the brand's presence. Is expanding as well in the US, for example, in Europe, Japan. So with that, it's getting relatively easier than at the beginning to attract global talents. Now nowadays, like we have like 20-25% of our employee are actually international talents. For the team, like I managed before, the global marketing team, we have all the people based in different locations, but like the US, Germany, Japan, Dubai, Southeast Asia. I mean the Ho Chi Minh City of Vietnam, etc. So it's kind of a journey. Like when you grow, when you do better, and you are getting more easier to attract global talents. That's my experience, and that's how I saw Anker journey to attract global talents.
Great, terrific. Jacqueline, you mentioned that many of her brands are kind of tailored to the Chinese consumer. On the other hand, there's always an interest in some of the global brands, Calvin Klein, Hermes, and so forth. what's the trend going to be? Where do you see that going? Is it going to be more to Chinese specific brands, or is it always going to have some balance?
I think the story, I think the answer goes not just it's a local brand or it's international brand. It goes to whoever, whatever brand who truly cares about their customers and creating a unique, customized experience for them. So there is an international brand successfully winning market share in China in past 2 years. They just won IPO. It's on running from Swiss. And their way of doing their marketing in China is a very tight community building practice with the hardcore runners and also with the people who care about fitness, but in the business setting. So they have very sharp understanding and identity of who their core customer is, and creating the group and the community activities on and on and on. So it's like a local brand spending tremendous effort creating this community experience for their customers. So so I believe no matter it's a local brand or it's international brand, actually Olay right now in China is doing massive and very successful customer communications in China, targeted and authentic and very highly relevant. So I believe as long as we continuously holding what P&G told us is truly understanding consumers are our boss and continuously offering the products, addressing their fundamental emotional and functional needs. And then there's no difference between global and local brands. We all can win in this new consumerism trend in China.
I see. Thank you. Perry, let me ask you, social media, gets a lot of heat from time to time, particularly in how it deals with younger folks. Talk to us about the situation in China. How different is that, or how similar is that to other countries and some of the things you've observed?
Yeah, I think I found it's also the same important for the young consumer to get the information, get a decision for their brand, their choices by the social media. But I think in my point of view, I think the social is more diverse here, because you use the thing like WeChat, so you can like the friend circle, so you can discuss a lot of things and sharing a lot of things. But also there's a lot of apps, for example, even TikTok or Little Red Book. They have a lot of social function there, right? So everyone is using leverages, because the people, I believe in this age is lonely than ever, right? So they actually want to share and communicate and discuss with other people, but they need it in their comfortable way, the new way. So every of the apps have this, and they use this to exchange idea, to talk about. I think this is still very critical, but it become increasing complex in China versus just one source of the information. I think this is the brand we all have to embrace. So that's why we also try to, when we talk about understand them, we have to go into each of the different platforms to make sure you understand those type of consumer right and make the right offer and choices for them. So I think that become very important in this market, in my point of view.
You've all obviously started your careers at P&G and now have gone on to do some remarkable things. We've got a broad audience here from around the world, and I'm sure a lot of them are still trying to figure out how to do a better job of doing business in China. So I want you to put a different hat on. I want you to look outside in and then inside out. What do you think? How can other folks, other companies do a better job with the Chinese consumer? Let me start with Jacqueline, and then we'll kind of go around the horn here. So Jacqueline, what do you think?
Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I think it just goes back to what P&G taught us about brand building framework, but it's just ever evolving in each era, in each country, and in each stage of the brand development. We no longer use the one theory or one formula to win consumers and creating our presence and grabbing market share. But now it requires lots of customizations, lots of deep insights by Paris research tools into the real consumer insights quantitatively, and then spending tremendous effort of creating the product that's truly addressing the needs. So to me, like my answer to my clients, they're all still like after P&G talents and trying to hire a post P&G graduates into their companies. But on the other hand, they would raise a requirement to that P&G'er is that you need to truly go to the front line to understand your customers, interact with them, and then hear their saying about your products. So I believe that is the thing I would advise to anyone who compete or play in China consumerism era is like be a customer, understand them, and truly resolve the problems for them. Yeah.
I see. Terrence, it looked like we're nodding along there. Any other thoughts? Anything?
Yeah, I would say I would suggest really embrace changes and evolvement quickly. When I just over the last year I took over the China market. I compare China's transformation and changes with the global market. I really feel like China's is dynamic evolvement. It's really fast. So any brand, any business presence, if you are starting China, considering to compete and play in China, really embrace the changes. The changes and involvement could be from the consumer or generations, younger generations, could be from the channel transformations, like 5-10 years ago we may talk about the e-commerce channel platforms versus the offline channel, but now even within the e-commerce channels, there's so many more rising platforms like the Pinduoduo, which is a listed company in the US as well, and many more others. So changes are so fast. So really embrace change and evolvement. That would be my suggestion.
Okay. And Perry, what do you think, sir?
Yeah, I think to get in touch with consumer in a more frequent way is very important because consumer changing pretty fast. I think not for the brand outside China, even for the manufacturer here, they feel extremely difficult to know how to do that, right? For example, we have one of the biggest P&G competitor, I don't name who. What they do is to do a by-month event, so their CEO and their all employee can talk to the rural consumer together to make sure they understand, right? So this is so important even for the people outside China. So of course, they have a lot of limitation of traveling here, so that's why you need more tools and technology to make sure you still do that. So I think this is still extremely important. So that's a thought from my side.
Very good. Well, listen, again, thank you. Breakfast with China, we're going to make sure that this gets a natural part of everything we do. For those who don't know, we probably have 5 or 6 different chapters in China. They're all very successful. York Hong, who's on our global board, represents one of the great economies, one of the great countries in the world, and we're just delighted to have you all. Congratulations on your success, and thanks for being with us here today.